Hi, this is 365821 and this is day 15 of the 25 days of manga. I'm a little bit pleased and a little bit proud that I have actually managed to upload videos for the past 15 days. Hopefully this is actually uploaded on the 15th. It has been a little bit of a slog, but let's see if I can make it to the end of the 25 days. Today's video will have a little bit, very little, about a title that I read at the end of yesterday and into this morning, and then one that I read today. So it is the red cover, but there is a little something before that. So I talked about yesterday in my video the fact that there was a particular title that I had in mind for a little bit of a quick read, or at least I thought would be a quick read. And yes, it was 4th Generation Head Tatsuyuki Oyamato. This is a Sublime title and it is by Scarlet Beriko. I have just fairly recently picked this up. I managed to get it for a really good price secondhand because I couldn't ever find it for a good price. It was almost always full price. And so I recently got it. And even then, when I got it, I didn't automatically start reading it. The reason why I haven't gone out my way to spend full price on a title that is by Sublime, and usually Sublime I'm like, I don't care, I'll just buy it. Is because I know what's inside this and I didn't really want to read it. But for some strange and inexplicable reason, yesterday the mood hit and I thought, hey, why not? And oh, isn't this beautiful artwork? You love Jackass, right? Give it a go. Go to bed and read it. And, decisions were made. #choices. Not exactly something that I'm happy about. So I honestly don't want to talk about it. I read it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't think I've got anything else to say, really. Yeah, no, I just don't want to talk about it. So yeah, I read this. That's all I've got to say. Let's move on to the title that this video is actually about. So for the next one, I am going to be reading a title that I have already read, but it will be for the prompt read on the cover. I have previously read volumes 1 and 2, so they will be rereads, and then I will read volume 3, which I got recently, and I have no idea what it's going to be about. So I'm really looking forward to that. It is a very vibrant and bright red. So it certainly is red on the cover for all 3. So I read Hanger Volume 1, 2 and 3. I purchased Volume 3 just recently. I got it for a really good bargain. It was £6 something, which is half price. And that's because it's been out for a full year. It was released in November 2019. So I kind of held off on getting it because I wanted to get it for a good price, and eventually it did come up for a good price. I did enjoy reading Hanger Volume 1 and 2, but honestly I couldn't quite remember exactly what happened. I knew what the basic premise was about or what the feel of it was, and I could tell you that I enjoyed it, and that was about it. So yeah, I knew that I needed to have a reread of volumes 1 and 2, that it would certainly warrant it so that I was up to speed with the story, and I think that's perfectly legitimate when it comes to Hirotaka Kisaragi's work. Usually they're very dense and plot heavy, and there's a lot going on in one particular volume. There would be a lot of story, and you'd really have to make sure you were up to speed before just jumping into the next volume. Now, this is a series by Tokyopop. I don't really need to talk about Tokyopop too much, do I? No, I don't. This is a translation by Christine Dashiell, which I think she's actually done a couple of things that I've read so far. So I'm quite happy with it. I really like her translation. I like how it flows. It's very good work. So all in all, the quality of the publications are actually really good. I say begrudgingly. It's like, damn. But yes, Tokyopop have done a good job with these, and I have enjoyed reading them, and they are very nice and glossy, and they're a good size. The artwork is lovely. But that is Hirotaka Kisaragi. Oh my goodness. I could talk about Hirotaka Kisaragi for hours and how much I respect and love the artwork. It's just such lovely, lovely drawings, and he just does such fantastic work. The fact that he is a male mangaka who has not predominantly done, but has certainly done quite a few BL works, and always very detailed, very plot driven, with really strong emotions, almost to the point of melodrama, but in a good way. I really love Hirotaka Kisaragi. What he does well is exactly what he's put into this. I think Hanger is sort of an amalgamation of all the things that have been put into a Hirotaka Kisaragi work up until now. It's as though I think this is probably his magnum opus. It says very explicitly at the end of volume 3 that they're only just starting to get into the story now. And I was like, what? Because there is a lot of plot, and there's a lot of story, and there's introductions to different characters going on in each of the different volumes. I really do think that this is going to be his major work. It also has a feel to the way that it's being presented, that it's almost like it's the expectation that one day this might be turned into an anime. And if so, it's literally just perfect, lift it from the page, kind of already planned and organised. I really do think it's of that kind of high quality. So, what does Hirotaka Kisaragi work usually entail, or what does he want it to entail? Well, this particular work is, by its very core, a buddy cop story. This is the one that he got to choose. What do you want in a story? I want buddy cops. And I want sort of dystopian, futuristic Neo-Tokyo. Okay, check. And I want fantastic uniforms. Check. And guns and swords. Check. And great character designs of beautiful women and lovely men. Check, check. I want old and young. Check, check. I mean, literally, he does everything. And he does everything at 100%. Such fantastic work. Such beautiful artwork. So, so lovely. And it's so dynamic as well. All of the action, everything that takes place, it's really not fast-paced, but it's definitely a good solid read. You feel like you're having a full 3-course dinner with this kind of work. You're getting everything that you want. It really does cater to not just the BL crowd, and that's why this is almost a shame that it does have the BL element to it, because I do think that if this wasn't classed as BL, it would probably sell more. It might actually get more attention. It's the kind of work that I do think deserves a really wide audience and lots of people. Not just because Hirotaka Kisaragi has amazing artwork that needs to be seen and celebrated, but because it's obviously a very well crafted, well thought out, and well, I suppose, planned and thoughtful story. The fact that he's done so much within 3 volumes and saying that, we're just starting to get to the story. We're just at the starting point. That tells me he's been thinking about this a lot. This is something that he's been working on. And I'm very happy that he has, because this is something that I actually really enjoy. The fact that there's only 3 volumes out just now is neither here nor there. I'm sure that there will be more. I hope there will be more, because it's a bit of a cliffhanger to be ending it on. Now, some of the characters in here, We mainly just follow the two, Hajime Tsukumo, who is at the time of the start of volume 1, he's a rookie cop who's been drafted in from the traffic division into this special like division 4 of the special police force, and within that force he gets given a partner, and his partner is actually a criminal called a hanger, and he is now deemed the hanger's keeper. So that's where the buddy cop element comes in. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. And I don't really want to over explain, because the more I explain, the more confusing it's going to sound. But trust me, when you read it, it makes sense. Just kind of go with it. So yeah, there's... I don't actually want to explain it at all now. There is nanomachines in people that are in drug form, and people have overdosed and taken these drugs and become addicted, and when they take these nanomachines, it can become a sort of a way of advancing yourself as a human being, and you can gain a lot of strength and powers, and maybe superhuman feats are possible. And unfortunately, if you take it to an extreme, you can go berserk, and usually when that happens, crimes are committed, and that's when you become a criminal. So no one wants people to become addicted to these high drugs of nanomachines, and if that's the case, then they can become criminals. But a way of reducing your sentence as a criminal is to become a hanger, and to then fight against those criminals who are still out there and bring them to justice, and that way you reduce your sentence. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. I don't really want to go too much into the premise of the whole setting, but the setting is massively important. At the start of both volumes 2 and volume 3, there is a very, very handy guide where it gives you a breakdown of the characters, and it also gives you a sort of what's happened in the story so far, catch up. So even if you are coming into it in volume 2 or 3, if you just read that, you'll be able to catch up with the story as well. Because as I've said, it's very plot heavy and there's a lot going on. The characters are fantastic. So Zeruichi is the hanger that gets paired with Tsukumo, and he is a sort of amnesiac. He's been given the longest sentence, so he is deemed the most dangerous of hangers, and poor Tsukumo is just kind of a newbie. He doesn't really know what he's doing, and the two of them have to forge ahead and create that buddy cop feel. So when they're like fighting with each other, and then they have to fight against criminals, and that of course builds the relationship. There's lots of other pairings in the story, as you can imagine, when this is the setup with hangers and keepers. There are lots of different characters. Some are just fantastic. Well, they're all fantastic. I really love all of them, and they all have fantastic, unique character designs. Literally, Hirotaka Kisaragi went to town with everything he had, and all of the costumes and uniforms, even their downtime clothes. I love the fashion. It's so good. There's like boots everywhere. I'm like, damn, I want those boots. Damn, that coat looks cool. Damn, he's got a samurai sword. Yeah, the katana started at the beginning, comes back in volume 3. That was a bit of a surprise, so I was happy to see that. But it's just beautiful, it's lovely, it's exactly what you could just have a wee wish list of things happening, and it ticks all those boxes. One of the characters that I particularly want to just mention is Byakuran. Byakuran is a hanger and has the ability to modify their appearance. And it's quite fantastic because it means that Kisaragi is able to design all of these different fabulous women, but it's just the same character over and over again. Byakuran is a bit mysterious, so I'm not going to tell you too much about Byakuran, except that apparently she used to be a boy, so that's great too. And it's just stated matter-of-factly, that's how it is. Now when it comes to this story, there is a lot going on, and I do not want to spoil it for anyone. So that's why I'm not telling you too much about it. But if you are coming at this from a BL perspective, you're probably thinking, where's my BL? Is there any? What's going on? It is fairly light on the BL. It is much more plot driven. It's plot heavy, but that doesn't mean that you don't form attachments to certain characters and certain pairs. Of course, there are some that you end up rooting for quite a lot, and you get introduced to more and more characters. There's a particular pair in the first one that you want to know, and they definitely have a physical relationship. There's another pair in the second volume that you get introduced to, and they have quite a traumatic relationship. And then you get introduced to even more characters in volume 3. And I have to say, some daddies and granddaddies in there, and I was not mad at it. And there was a character that got introduced right at the end of volume 3, and I was like, hello, no, why are you walking away? Come back. Oh, very, very nice. But that's because Hirotaka Kisaragi does such a great job. I just love his work. If you are interested in any of his other works that are available in English, I think there's one called Blood Plus, which I don't have a copy of, and another one that is by Blue, which of course was Tokyopop's defunct Boys Love imprint, and that is, I think, Innocent Bird, which is a 3-volume series. Hanger is apparently still ongoing, and if there is more published, then I will be buying more, even if it is by Tokyopop. So yeah, this is my red cover. I hope I haven't given away too much. I hope I haven't spoiled too much. I don't really want to, because I want someone to come at this from a fairly fresh perspective so that they can just accept it for what it is. Other than me saying Hirotaka Kisaragi is amazing and I love their work. One small point though, I do need to put this as a wee caveat, and this is why it's got me to day 15. And that is because I tried to pick this up twice, and in volume 1, page 1, paragraph 2, it starts with, following the devastating pandemic that took countless lives, humanity abandoned the concept of religion. The remaining population, hoping to rise above the fear that such a tragedy could strike again, embraced a new era of scientific advancement focused on strengthening the human race against illness and disease. The fact that this is a sort of near future existence, it's a little bit too near for us all now. This, devastating pandemic, I read this like a year and a half ago, and that throwaway little sentence or phrase did not affect me in any way, shape or form, because it's so ubiquitous to our understanding of these, neo-Tokyo futuristic dystopian stories like Togainu no Chi, or Dramatical Murder, or Tokyo Ghoul, all of these psychopaths even, this is like all these type of stories. When you think about it, sometimes there is the idea of, there was a terrible virus and we lost lots of people, and it's like, okay. And even now when I think about all these movies that we've had, and it's more realistic now to read this and go, oof, no, that's a little bit too close to the bone for me. So I actually started reading this. Well, I opened it up and read the first page and went, oh, nope. A couple of weeks ago when I was starting this, thinking, I've done a green cover, I'll do a red cover next. And I was like, nope, not ready yet. And then even just a couple of pages in, when you're introduced to Tsukumo, he is then telling the fact that he has recently lost his mother. So this is just a couple pages later, When she passed away, all I had left was the massive debt accrued from all the hospital bills. Boof. So that was a week later. It's been 2 weeks now, so it was a week later and I read that and I just stopped and I couldn't read the rest, and it was just like, oof. I feel so grateful to be, this is me being a bit political, but to be in the UK with the NHS. We are so lucky to have that, because what people are going through in other countries where they have to pay for their health care, and being left with like massive debt because of something that is a global pandemic. Oh my goodness. So yeah, the fact that this is just another aspect added into the story that once again hit too close to home for me as well. So I had to kind of like go, no, maybe I'm not there yet. I need something more fluffy and light. So it was twice that I picked this up. The fact is, though, that after that point, you do get into the story, you get into the characters, and it's less of a major point. The only real thing that you need to take away is that he has debt, and there's a reason why his mother didn't survive. And I'm not going to say any more because that would be ruining it and giving too many spoilers. But caveat is there. The first volume talks about a pandemic and about the inability to pay hospital bills. So yeah, that is something that maybe you should be aware of going into this. Hopefully it doesn't spoil your enjoyment or put you off in any way. It's a brilliant series. So yeah, I highly recommend Hanger by Hirotaka Kisaragi. And yes, it is published by Tokyopop. What can I say? I hope everyone's doing well and enjoying themselves in the lead up to any holidays that you might be having and time off. Take care of yourselves, guys. And remember, every day is a BL day.